Hello, 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 everyone. So we are on, and make sure the mic is on. Okay, we're on Unit 8, Lesson 5. More exponent practice. So what we have up here in the right box, these are all the exponent laws that you need to know. You need to know how to apply them, how to manipulate them, combine them. So those are ones that you should memorize. You should know. Okay? So just some additional practice. And then we're going to get into a couple more complicated ones. So simplifying the expressions. So just a little review. If you are multiplying, you would then add the exponents. And then if you have a power to a power, you would multiply. And then you are dividing. So then you would subtract x7 minus 10, which is x to the negative 3, which is 1 over x cubed. So that's a good review of a bunch of those laws up there. So the next one, we have a power to a monomial, but there's two separate variables. So what you have to do is you have to make sure you distribute the 4 to both terms. So we have x, power to a power you multiply, x to the 8, y to the 4th, all over x to the 5th, y to the 7th. And that's a 5, even though it might not look like it. Okay? So that's a 5. All right, now, and just follow your rules. So you're dividing, so you subtract. So I have x cubed y to the negative 3. And some of you guys get a little confused because sometimes you skip steps. So don't skip any steps. Show your work. And that way, as you go down systematically, everything will fall into place. So, I subtract, I get a negative. No big deal. We have rules for that. So then this becomes x to the 3rd over y to the 3rd. And that's as far as you can go. Okay? Now, with this next one, you have to be very careful of subtraction and negative. So with your subtraction, you have x to the negative 2 minus negative 6. So don't lose one of those signs because it will affect your answer. And then the next one, the y, is easier because it's just 4 minus 1. So the negative 2 minus negative 6 gives you 4. And then you have y cubed. So it's x to the 4th, y cubed. Similar in D, a negative and then times by positive. You can do that. That's not a problem. So we take this 2, distribute it to both parts of the term. I think I said term over here. Mr. Call came in and interrupted me, but I didn't stop. Kept going. Okay? So power to a power, we have x to the negative 6, y to the negative 8. And then in the denominator, same thing. We have x to the negative 4, y to the negative 12. And if you use your calculator, I don't care, as long as you're getting the right answer. So if you need to put in your calculator the x's, the negative 6 minus a negative 4, no big deal, okay? Put it in to get the right answer, x to the negative 2. Of course, we want you to know the rules, okay? But on quizzes and tests, double check in the calculator, okay? Because you're still new with these, and you want to make sure that you do get the correct answers. So then we have negative 8 minus a negative 12, which is y to the 4th. So that's a big y. So then we have y to the 4th over x squared. And that's it. Okay, that's as far as you can go. Now, fractions. All right, and here's what I was talking about. Write each without the use of negative exponents. So with fractions, I would really like you to use the calculator. Okay? So, in this one here, letter A, you can look at it. I'm going right to the calculator. Okay? So, what do we have here? So, we have 1/3. Okay? So, you go to your calculator, 1/3. Okay? I know, it's going to take a little while. And you're multiplying, so you add, okay, the 1/2. Add the 1/2. Enter. So, you have x to the 5/6 over x to the 1/6. So, now you're going to subtract the 1/6. And you get 2/3. So you see how it does it all for you? So then it is just, and if you want to put any of this on the notes, go ahead. So then you have x to the 2/3. Okay, because on the short answers, you have to show what you're doing. The next one, very similar. We have 1/2, but now what we need to do here is we need a power to a power, so we are multiplying by 5. So you multiply by 5, enter. Okay, you get 5/2. Now, if you look at the denominator, you also now have to add. So you have the 3/2, all right, and you have to add 3. So again, I mean, sometimes it's confusing with these fractions. So go ahead, use it. Use the calculator to your advantage. So that would make it as x to the 5/2 all over x to the 9/2. And then you would do your 5/2 minus, and I just bring down that answer, the 9/2, and you get -2. So we have x to the -2, which is 1 over x squared. Okay, so use the calculator to your advantage. All right, now here we go again. Now we have some leading coefficients. So same thing there. Right to your calculator. 4 cubed, okay, because you have to distribute that third term to each one. 4 cubed, 64. And then 2/3, right? 2/3. And we're going to raise that to the third as well. Okay, see how it takes care of everything for you. And the best thing to do is you have to practice. Okay, you have to practice. Oh, I did have to power. It's supposed to be times, isn't it? No, power to power. Yeah, power to power, you multiply. Why did I do that, you crazy? All right, so I got to do it again. I got so mixed up with the 4 cubed. Power to a power, you multiply. Times 3. Enter. So it's a 2. Okay, so that numerator is 64 x squared over 32x to the 8. Okay, this right here. Put in your calculator. I don't care. 64 over 32 is 2. 2 minus 8 is -6. 2x to the -6. So that's 2 over x to the 6th power. Okay, so we're good there. Now, fractional exponents, when you have to make sure that you simplify fractions. When you have to simplify the fractions is if the numerator is larger than the denominator. Okay, if you need to write the whole thing out, write the whole thing out. What does that mean? Since this numerator 5 is larger than the denominator 3, you can go further. So what I recommend doing is changing this to x to the 3/3 times x to the 2/3. Okay? Because what happens is you multiply, so you add them together. 3/3 plus 2/3 is 5/3. And x to the 3/3 is just x. And we want radical expressions. So then we have, okay, what happens here is you have 2 and 3. Okay? So it's x cube root of x squared. Use your calculator. All right, the same thing. So we have x to the 5/2 over x to the 4/3. So we are subtracting. What do we have? We have 5/2. I know I'm not going to keep pausing it. Minus 4/3. Then I got to pause and come back, pause and come back. Okay, which is 7/6. So what do you have? X to the 7/6. So that is x to the 6 over 6 times x to the 1/6. Because remember, when you add those, you get back up here. X to the 6 over 6 is x to the 1st. And then you have 6th root of x. Okay, and that's it. You leave it like that. This one a little easier, okay, because you don't have x in the numerator. So this becomes x to the 3/2. And then that will equal x to the 2 over 2 times x to the 1/2. X to the 2 over 2 is x. X to the 1/2 is just the square root of x. One of your rules. Okay. Next one. So what do? We can rewrite it. Okay. So you have x cubed over x to the 1/2. And now, again, one of your rules. Square root of x. Boom. You got to know it right away. Okay. So what happens here? We do 3 minus 1/2 in your calculator. I'm not going to keep showing you that you can do that. So then it becomes x to the 5/2. So here's going to be a little different. Okay? You want to find the highest multiple. All right? So if I just made it 2/2, then I have a 3/2, meaning like this. X to the 2/2 times x to the 3/2 gives me that 5/2, but you see the numerator is still larger, so I would have to do it again. So what you would do is you would do x to the 4/2 times x to the 1/2, because that will give me a numerator that is smaller than the denominator. And x to the 4/2 is x squared, root x. Okay? This 2/3, even though it looks weird, we'll have to go to both terms. So you would do 8 to the power of 2/3. So 8 to the power of 2/3 is 4. And again, put in your calculator. And then when you have 5 times 2/3, it's 10/3. Okay? Largest multiple of 3 is x to the 9/3, x to the 1/3. So you have 4x cubed, cube root of x. Okay? Here we are, last one, f, and we have the cube root of 27, which is 3. X to the 1/3, so x to the 1/3, all over 6x to the 1/2. So this is going to be 1/2. Okay, the 3/6 is 1/2. X to the 1/3 minus x to the, well, divided by x to the 1/2. So you do 1/3 minus 1/2 gives you x to the negative 1/6. Okay, the numerator is already less than the denominator. You can just leave it. So it's 1 over 2x to the 1/6, which is 1 over 2 6th root of x. Okay, and that's how you leave it. Now, because it says using radical expressions, that's how you knew to change this to a radical. Okay, multiple choice. What we do here is you can use your such that. Okay, so you can put the cube root of 8x to the 7th power such that x equals whatever. So let me do this. I'm going to pause it. Actually, I didn't pause it because I want you guys to see, okay, just a little reminder how to put this in. Okay, so it's that button, Control, caret, and there's your 3. Okay, equals 8x caret 7. All right, now use your such that, Control. This is what I would recommend. Okay, enter. Yeah, we can do it this way. And x equals 4. Enter, and you get that value. Okay, so that's one way to do it. And then what you would do is the answer is 2. So 2x caret fraction 7/3. Get out. Control such that x equals 4. Enter. You get the same exact thing. Okay? So that's one way to do it. That's perfectly fine. Okay? Now, in the second one, okay, exercise 5, I'll pause it because I'm running out of time. So, in the second one, you have your 1 over the square root of 4x. You got to make sure everything's under the radical. You get out of the radical. And now you set it equal, and you can set it equal to each answer. So the choice is 1. So I have the 1/2 x caret negative 1/2. Okay? And then I'm going to say such that x equals 8. Doesn't matter what number you use. Enter. Oh, what's my syntax error? Oh, you know what I think I need? I think I need a times here. Okay. Oh, did I forget the such that? Maybe I did. Look at this crazy stuff. Hold on. You know what I forgot? I forgot the such that. Okay? So I forgot the such that. That's why it was being crazy to me. All right. So there it says true. All right. So multiple choice, you can just plug right in. So I know it was a little longer video, but better than a 30-minute video, right? Okay. Well, then we'll see you in class.